Welcome back to this week's Coach's Corner. Talk soccer. Now we're going to talk some Ponca City High School baseball. And the Wildcat baseball team has had quite a season as they prepare for district playoffs coming up this week. And with us is Coach Freeman, Jared Freeman, who not only is our high school baseball coach, but as you can tell, he is sporting a nice haircut. And before we get to that, congratulations, Region 2 Coach of the Year, State of Oklahoma. And I know that you coach hard every year, but boy, the guys have come out, played well, and I know that your assistant coaches, there's a lot of people involved when you get a Coach of the Year honor like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a shame they only put one name on the plaque that I'll get, because it's everybody involved. Obviously, the assistant coaches deserve a ton of praise and a ton of credit for it, because they do a tremendous job for me, and then you usually don't win awards like that without some good ball players. So everybody that's competed for us this year on the varsity team takes a little bit of ownership in that award too. So,
not to say that you didn't have confidence going into the season, but sometimes coaches do things to motivate players. And earlier this season, Coach motivated his players by saying that if they won 20 games, that he would do something to his haircut. And by the looks of Coach Freeman, you know that our players won over 20 games this year.
They did. They asked me early in the year, and I said, 20 wins, it's kind of a big accomplishment. It doesn't happen all the time. I know it hadn't happened here a ton, but we as a staff said if they got to 20 regular season wins that we would shape Mohawks, and they've all done it themselves now. And it's not necessarily just about the wins. To me, it's about the commitment that they made to us. 5:30 a.m. workouts, practices till 6 and 6:30 every night, indoor, outdoors. So not necessarily crazy about the haircut, but it was definitely a reward for the guys, and a big thank you to for their commitment that they made for us.
I am reasonably sure that any coach in America, if their team could say, if you win 75% of your games, we'll do something to our hair, most coaches would take that right now. You'd probably sign up for the next 10 years if you knew that was going to be the case.
You'd be seeing this haircut a lot more often. I definitely think so.
Absolutely. I always thought those things were unity, though. That's what keeps people together, and it's not only healthy for this season, but I'm sure you know that the kids that aren't on the varsity, the JV players, the kids that play summer ball that are coming up, they see this type of thing, and it can't do anything but be healthy for your program.
I think so. I mean, just to steal kind of a page from Bill Snyder, the family motto, it's been one of our big things this year, and it has to be. As much time as we spend with these kids from October until we put the ball down in July, we're together as much or more than they are than their actual families. So it definitely is a bond, and the kids have gotten a kick out of it. And whether it helps them win another baseball game or not, I don't know, but it's definitely been interesting for us.
Now, 21 wins, right? 21 win season, 2 ties, which is a little bit strange. And the Wildcats have a game as we record today's program, and then you get ready for district play. Because of the weather, though, it's a little bit different this year, and you might go through some of the scenarios and when all this is going to start to take place this week as far as high school baseball is concerned.
We're going to wrap up season finale today. Real tough, top 5A with Guthrie. They're 21-5. We're going to go after it and try and win the ball game, but we're also going to make sure that all of our pitchers are ready. So we're going to kind of staff it up. Johnny All-Staff, throw everybody 20, 25 pitches. Make sure that we don't extend anybody and not have them for regionals. So that's our first priority, is to stay healthy and keep our pitching intact. Looks like if Jinx beats Sand Springs tonight, they'll win our district and we'll go to Jinx. If Jinx loses, Union wins our district and we'll go there. And honestly, for who we play in the first, we'll be the 3 seed, and we could play anybody from Broken Arrow, Bartlesville, Bishop Kelly, or Bixby. Most likely we're going to play Bartlesville or Bixby. If Bartlesville wins one game, that's who we'll play. And they're an awfully good ball club. They're 19-11. They've got 2 of the best pitchers in the state. That I know we've beaten them twice, but we've not had to see either one of those pitchers because of district play. So we know whether it's Union or Jinx, whether it's Bartlesville or Bixby, that our toughest games are ahead of us.
Everybody's good when you get to that point, aren't they, Coach?
Well, you're seeing everybody's 1 and 2. You're seeing everybody in that playoff win or go home mentality, and it just really changes the dynamic of things.
regardless of how all this ends, and we hope it doesn't end for a few weeks. But a great season, obviously, a terrific season, one in which I'm sure a lot of your players have played above maybe even what you thought they were capable of.
I think so, and I think that's my job as a coach, is to get them to play maybe a little bit better than they actually are. At least I'd like to think that's part of my job. Get them to believe that they're a little bit better than they actually are, and we have. I mean, we've had a lot of guys step up and give us good innings on the mound. Offensively, we've had some young guys come in like Chase Kurtz and hit 380 on base over 500% of the time, and it's because of his work ethic. We've had some surprises this year, but I don't know if surprise is the right word, but we've had some guys play well, and that's a good thing.
Well, with Chase and with Missouri and with some of your younger players, Shepard, not only do you have a bright future this season, but you know that you've got guys you can count on now for varsity play next year too as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll lose 4 starters, seniors that start for us, but we bring back 7 or 8 that have played, if not every day, 75–80% of the season. So the cupboard's certainly not bare.
And those guys, in particular, your 3, 4, and 5 hole hitters there, Evans, Jenkins, and Ragland. What a real good nucleus that the team has been built around. They've done it, pitching, fielding, hitting. They've pretty much done everything you could have possibly asked this season.
They sure have. I mean, 3 really good baseball players and even better young men. I'd trust them with keys to my car, the wallet, my kids, whatever. They're just great kids. We've been looking forward to this year now for 3 or 4 years, just because we knew, led by those 3 guys, that whether we won as many games as we wanted to, that we were going to get their best effort, that we were going to be a good team that battled and competed. And so much of the credit goes to those guys.
Yeah, it's funny, we sat here last year at this exact time, and I think you had won 12 or 11 games, and you said, man, if we'd have just done this. This year you did do that. Mm-hmm. You said last year we'd have won 18 or 19 if we'd have just, that shows you how important those early games are. When you can get off to a good start, you get some momentum going too.
We did. I mean, after Jinx thumped us twice to fall to 3 and 5, I think we're 17, 4, and as you said, 2, which drives me crazy. But, we learned to compete. We learned how to win the close games, because it isn't that we're just a fantastic baseball team, but we're that word scrappy. We find ways to win. If we're not hitting one day, we're going to pitch well and play good defense. If we're not pitching it well, we're going to outscore you. We've kind of responded to whatever the task at hand was, and again, that goes back to the leadership and all those things we've talked about previously.
When you set up your pitching for the upcoming high school baseball playoffs, is it your intent to try to keep Josh Evans to where he could throw your first game?
First or second. I mean, that's a decision that Coach Bodenstein and Coach Parks and I'll sit down and we'll look at based on the matchups. Because there's 2 ways to look at it. You can't win it if you don't win the first game. But then obviously the kids have played well enough this year that, in a sense, they deserve to have, if we win that first game, which we'd like to think we will, that we need to have our best against Jinx in the winners bracket. So there's kind of 2 schools of thought, and I'll ultimately make that decision based on what plays out the next 2 days.
What a season. Coach Freeman, District 2 Coach of the Year for the state of Oklahoma, Region 2. Our congratulations to Jared Freeman and to the baseball team. That's this week's Coach's Corner.